Hey everyone, TimaeuSS here and welcome to another Zenless Zone Zero video. And yes, this is quite a special one because the game is launching in just a couple of days and our CM bros have been going ham. I mean, just look at the amount of text written here. It's like a research paper, but don't worry, I have got you covered. That's right, I've taken two of the most popular CN guides and I'll present them to you in this video. This is going to cover everything from the combat system, character progressions, the gacha system, and various quality of life improvements not seen in other Hoyoverse games. This is truly unique to ZZZ, and of course I'm very happy to present this to you guys with the various game modes that we'll have at release. Now, without further ado, this is everything you need to know about Zenless Zone Zero for the game's launch, and let's get started. But wait, the Zenless Zone Zero is now ready for official preload. That's right, you can already download the contents of the game so you're ready to go as soon as the server opens. I'll leave a link down below so you can get things started. So let's start with the combat of the game, and this is what's gonna make or break the game for you. And the ZZZ is quite unique in the sense that if you look at the bottom right, you've got 5 buttons. Your left click is your basic attack, followed by right click to dash, E for heavy or special skills, spacebar to swap, and Q for your ultimate. And for your Q, ZZZ is unique in the sense that you use a decibel system on the top left of the screen, and this is your ultimate bar gauge. Basically, once it's full at 3000, your Q will flash up and you can use the ultimate attack from your team, but it's the character that you are using. That's right, you oftentimes will be using this on your main damage dealer, and once the main damage dealer casts the ultimate, then you go back into recollecting the decibel points. It's not like other games where each character will be able to use their own ultimate when their own ultimate gauge fills up. That is not the case here in ZZZ. Now in this game, there's another resource to manage, and that's your energy bar. You can see the energy gauge is below your HP, and once it reaches a certain threshold, you'll be able to use an enhanced attack if you press your E. That's right, and this enhanced heavy attack or special attack will have much higher multipliers and have additional effects. So managing your energy wisely is going to be the key when you're playing across various different characters, 3 per team. So making sure that you get the enhanced attack off and not just mindlessly spamming. Of course, in this game there's also parrying as well. As you can see, there's the red as well as the orange attack indicators coming out from enemies, and every time it happens you can press your spacebar to do a special swap into parry attack, and this is so fun. This is honestly what makes ZZZ's combat unique, because there's a couple of, I would say, millisecond window where you can do this, and not only do you have the option to parry swap, you can also dodge, right? You can also perfectly dodge it with your right click, which is more traditional in terms of the action games we have played on our mobile games, but the swap is what makes it really awesome. But make sure that you keep track of your stacks, because there are only six uses per swap parry. However, you have the ability to refill the swap parry chances when you're using your assist attacks or your ultimate, so keeping track of that is going to be very crucial. And even melee characters and range characters have a different swap parry abilities. The range ones will keep some distance between the boss or the enemy, and then they'll actually sometimes jump backwards and then parry that, whereas the close melee combat users with the swords and all their fancy weapons will parry and stop the attack sequence of the enemy, which is very different, but also very satisfying if you can get this right. Now, when you're swapping characters, you can see that if you're using a special attack and the character lingers post-swap, they will actually complete their attack patterns. So this brings some very interesting gameplay, allowing multiple characters on the field at the same time. And last but certainly not least, look at the daze bar below the enemy's HP. Once it reaches the maximum level and then you use your E, which is your special or heavy attack, you will be able to daze the enemy and enter an assist attack or chain attack combo. This is really cool because you can have the entire team coming and do their special cut-in or anime scenes, and you will be able to dish out a huge amount of damage against the boss, and also using your ultimate during this time will deal even more additional damage. And honestly, this just makes the combat truly unique, and what a satisfying way to bring your entire team into this. Now, it's not all just about brute forcing or breaking the enemy. There are also other important components to the combat, which I'll cover in probably a separate video, but just know that there are elements in the game. You can have shocks, you can have a fire, burns, everything else is here as well. So there are different elemental advantages when you're fighting different bosses. But again, probably too in-depth for this moment, and we'll cover it in a separate video. And I definitely want to mention this before we wrap up the combat section. Every single character has their unique and hidden combos. That's right, it's like those arcade games. If you manage to press them at the exact same sequence, every character will be able to use their own special unique attacks. And now you're hooked by the combat, so let's take a look at the gacha system. As you can see, we've got 4 separate pools at the beginning, and the first one is of course the rate up banner, and it's the limited character and the place where you should be spending your premium currency. We also have the standard banner, and the cool thing about ZZZ standard banner is that your beginner's discount banner that guarantees an SSR in the beginning with a discounted 20% off in 50, this is included in the standard banner. It matters a lot because for the other Hoyoverse games, for example Honkai Star Rail, after 300 pulls, right, you will be able to basically select any one of the 5-star or max rarity standard characters as a selector in the standard banner. Previously in other games, this is separate from the beginner's discount banner, but now they have fused it together, so all of the pulls you've done in the beginner's discount banner will also be included and counted towards that 300 pool. But still, do not, unless you're pay to win or super whale player, do not use any of the premium currency in the standard banner, because the game gives you a lot of those tickets for the standard banner. So please save your premium currency for the raid up banner. And of course, you can pull on the engine, and the engines are the light cones or the weapons of this game. It's still a 75-25% versus, of course, the characters are going to be 50-50 in the initial 90 or 80 pulls, and then the weapons or the engines here are 75-25. But please do note, okay, the rate are a bit higher in the ZZZ. It's 1% in comparison to the usual 0.6 or 0.8%. We've also gotten a improved system where you obtain these currencies that can be exchanged after you do any form of pulls, okay? And the best part about this currency is that the exchange for the limited rate up tickets, it's unlimited in the sense that you can exchange as many as you want, and the first 5 each month will be discounted at 50% off. But moving forward, there's no cap. I know in other games that we have played, of course, there is a cap on that, but there is no cap here. So the gacha system is very friendly in terms of the exchange, the currencies, and the rate ups as well. Now we have also got the bamboo in the gacha system as well, and this is really unique because in the live stream they have said that this is a free currency that you cannot really whale for. Well, technically it could. The monthly pass will give you 8, I believe, 8 extra pulls, but besides that, every single free-to-play player will have the same exact currency income of bamboos in comparison to the whales. And they have changed the system now. You can no longer get 50-50 or 75-25 for the bamboos. The one that you select as your targeted pull will be the one you receive every time you pull the highest ranking bamboo, which is great because we only get a certain amount of pulls every single event or release of the game. So later on you are going to be RNG gated because you can have bamboos that actually do come and help you in combat be gated by your luck. So the whales technically can get beaten out by the free-to-play players that just pull their high rank bamboos left and right. So this is going to be a very interesting part of the game to see. Now you have seen the gacha system, but how do you actually upgrade your proxies or characters? Well, as you can see in game, the VR station is your one-stop shop. It has all of the stages where you can farm the materials needed to upgrade all of the characters. As you can see, whether it be increasing the level cap of the characters or upgrading the skill levels, it's all there. And yes, there is an equipment feature as well. The RNG will never escape us, and you'll be able to farm them for the end game. And some of these material stages can only be farmed 3 times a week, but of course the rest you can just farm, and this is where you will be dumping your stamina in the beginning. And we've got the passives as well for each character alongside all of their skills that you can upgrade, and the A, B, C, D, E, F is basically the dupe upgrades, unlocking various powerful abilities. And the passives are behind certain levels, so make sure that you reach there before you are unlocking these passives, because it will be gated. And of course later on you will be able to unlock more difficulties and more upgrades, but you have to complete various other game modes in order to unlock these material stages. So I'll talk about the other game modes as well in the later chapter. Now, ZZZ has a really cool customization function where you can actually choose what materials are being dropped, and you can see here that we get to see 5 cards and the drops associated with the cards or enemies, but you can mix and match. That's right, the game gives you the freedom to allow to choose your own enemies and their associated drops, and you can change the stage and your stamina consumption based on that, which is really cool because a lot of times in games we have to travel across different dungeons from different drops, but in this game we get to pick oh my god, it's so funny. You get to pick your own enemies and then you get to see what they're gonna pop and drop, and then you basically set your own customized stage based on what they are going to give you. And I've always said in these type of games, especially in the beginning, getting the level upgraded as well as the skill levels and the passives unlocked are going to be what makes your character super strong in the beginning. However, as you transition into the late game, that's right, the RNG equipment farm is definitely there. And of course, if you played other Hoyoverse games, this is not new to you. All the RNGs involved with regards to the main stat, the substats, it's all there. However, in terms of ZZZ, it is slightly improved in the sense that there's no inner or outer 2-piece, it's all in a 6-piece setup, and you can mix and match because every single type of gear will have a 2-piece bonus and a 4-piece bonus. So a lot of times you'll have a 2 plus 4-piece bonus activated, or sometimes you may even have 3 2-piece bonus activated. But again, this is pretty much end game, and the main stat, the substats are all RNG based, but at least here in ZZZ you will be able to dismantle your unused gears or even upgraded gears into materials and EXP that you can use for the characters, and after that you can use these mats to fuse together to get other gears as well. So it greatly improves the outcome and the lessons, the burden, the grind, and hopefully you'll be able to get a usable set much earlier in order to push through the progression. But honestly, don't worry about min-maxing. For example, I played Honkai Star Rail, and yeah, sure, I min-maxed in the beginning, but looking back now and looking into my account right now, these gear didn't really matter. So make sure that you don't spend too much time and too much energy focused on this. Just progress through the game naturally, and getting the level upgraded and getting all of these passives and skill upgrades done is the most crucial component. So accessing the various game modes in ZZZ is actually very easy. Just go to your PC, and no, I don't mean your own computer, but rather the computer in the game for your character. As you can see, you can go through the story right from that interface, and they even have the ability to enter easy mode for the story and give you characters that you can use, and you can skip everything. That's right, I know, crazy, right? You can skip all of the dialogue and cutscenes and come back and go to the archive section and revisit them all. So that is really cool. And we've got other game modes such as the Rally Commission, which is I mean, it's just a game mode that gives you tons of resources. In the previous CBT test, it wasn't anything too crazy. There are challenges that you can do. As you can see, you get some resources for upgrading characters. You even get your bamboo pawns for pulling bamboos. So every week you can go do that. But the two main end game modes are going to be the Hollow Zero and the Shuyu Defense. And in my honest opinion, that is going to be basically the challenge for you to do at the very end. And you can see this transports you to a different map, and you got access to the two screens here. And the Hollow Zero one is a roguelike game mode that puts you through various stages, and you've gotten monthly or weekly quests that you can do, and you can also unlock different upgrades as you push through the various aspects of the content, and these upgrades are going to be lasting every single time you enter a new Hollow Zero combat or entrance, and that will allow you to push further. Now, looking at the Shuyu defense, this is your challenge, endgame challenge. You can see there are 10 stages across 4 major maps basically, and you're going to require 2 teams at the end to push against different bosses. This is your memory chaos if you have played Honkai Star Rail like I have. So the 2 Hollow Zero and Shuyu defense are going to be your end game, but don't stress out too much, okay? The income from these are decent, but should no way affect your way of playing the game long term, because if you are, committing a ton of resources but not being able to clear that, you know what, it's like 1 or 2 pulls at max, so don't stress too much about it at all. And there you have it. Hopefully if you enjoyed this video as we covered the combat system, the gacha system, and the various game modes we can expect with the release of ZZZ. And as always, thank you guys for watching. And if you like what you see, let me know in the comments below, and I've got a pinned link where you can pre-register or download the game as we approach the release of ZZZ. And honestly, I have been truly loving what I've seen so far with the game. So of course, I'll be there day 1 of the game's release and updating you guys with some more information and guides with regards to Zenless Zone Zero. And thank you guys, it's TimaeuSS here, and I will see you in the next video. Goodbye now.